Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for your patience today. I know I'm running a bit behind. Let's see who's here today. Feel free to say hello. I see Jacqui says greetings. Christine, happy Wednesday. Good morning, Michelle. Hi, Nancy. Hello, April. Nancy and April have that same emoji, smiley face with the hands. Hello, Sophia. Welcome, welcome. If this is your first time with me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I am joining you guys from Northern Illinois. Today we're here to talk about Saturn Retrograde, and then we'll pull some oracle cards to see how the cards can help us deepen this energy and pull it more into our lives, make it more practical. This is Darla behind us. If you guys aren't familiar with Darla, she's the oldest of my 3 dogs. She's the most spiritual of my 3 dogs. Lori says happy Wednesday to you and everyone here. Good morning, Rachel. April, hi gal, you really have to talk to IT about you not showing up on the list of lives for this time frame. Huh. Cool. Interesting. Sidekick Jacqui, did you hear that? Nicole, good morning. Sherry, hello from Central Illinois. Welcome, Sherry. Jacqui says, I'll be getting a second return of my Saturn return. Yeah, now that we're stationing retrograde, you get your pass back, and then you're going to get a third smack to the face. I'm just kidding. Sherry says, you were on my list of lives. Interesting. Hi, Mimi. Right now? Okay, they went away. Let me know if that lawnmower gets too loud. I just heard my neighbor turn their lawnmower on. Good day, Michelle, my belle. Rachel says my 3-year-old Luna would love to hear you say hello to her. Well, hello, Luna. Good morning. I had an interesting experience with that Luna energy this weekend, so thanks for joining us, little Luna. Lori says I was on your list of lives. Okay, cool. Oh, Rachel, I'm so happy to hear I made her day. Well, let's just hop into it. Jacqui says if you click to attend the event in advance, you'll be able to find it in your personal listing of live events. Yeah, Jacqui, but I think they're saying that, like, they want me to show up for everybody, not just people who already know who I am, I guess. Michelle, my belle, me too, that big energy. Yeah, I guess I do have to share because I had quite a monumental weekend. Just quickly, because I know that you guys love hearing my life updates. So this past weekend, I went to the Awake Oneness Festival with the intention of reading astrology all weekend. I work side by side with my friend Vicky. She's an artist, and she sets me up for astrology readings, and we work very well together at these events. And we're also just like best friends. We have a lot of fun together. So it was a 3-day, 2-night camping event, and oh my gosh, the most magical thing in the world. So we got there on Friday night, set up our tent. The events on Friday night were kind of lackluster, so we're like, all right, whatever, we'll go to bed early. And then halfway through the night, I woke up to the sound of raindrops, and we didn't think it was supposed to rain on Friday. And all the stuff was in the bed of my truck, the open bed of my truck. So all of our stuff got rained on Friday night. So then on Saturday, we got set up to vend, and her art, 99.5% of it made it through dry. So thank you, universe. And we got set up to start vending on Saturday, and I plugged in my laptop, which was in the tent. So I plugged in my laptop, and then I went to go, I walked around the vending area, and I came back and my laptop was black, and I was like, that's interesting. And I tried figuring out, why is it not charging? Let me restart it. And then it wouldn't turn back on. So I think I fried the board on my laptop because I plugged a wet charger into my laptop. So instead of throwing a fit, instead of F you, universe, what the hell? I said, I guess I'm supposed to be in receiving mode this weekend. So I didn't work. I expected to go to work 2 full days and bring home a lot of cash, right? But instead I was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy myself. So I enjoyed myself thoroughly this weekend. I engaged in a large group ecstatic dance for the first time ever. There was probably, I'm really bad at guessing numbers, but I would say that there was like 75 to 100 people in a field ecstatic dancing Saturday night. So it wasn't the full moon, but it was the day after the full moon. So it was gorgeous. It was huge in the sky. I can't even put into words the magic that came out of that ecstatic dance. And that I knew, like after that happened, and then all day on Sunday, I was just like dreaming about what happened the night before. And I knew that like that was the reason I was at that festival this weekend. So that's where I'm at. Of course, I brought my 2 favorite decks to that festival. And those were the 2 decks that were in the bed of my truck when it rained. So they dried over the weekend. We'll see. It was the Star Codes Astro deck and my Animal Apothecary deck. So they dried. They have some character now. We'll see when I'm going to try to use them on my own first because it's much different now. So yeah, we'll see. It rained on Saturday night too. The tent that I have apparently is the most waterproof tent ever made to man. So that was beautiful. Michelle, they transformed just like you. Yeah, I ecstatic danced in the rain for hours. Transformative. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Hello, Jennifer. I love how you flipped it. I need to do that more. It's taken a lot of practice, Michelle. It's taken a lot of practice. And actually, once we talk about Saturn's retrograde, maybe you'll see where you can do this in your life as well. You'll think about that experience now every time you use those decks. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, today just so happens to be a very lovely day to discuss Saturn's retrograde because Mercury, the planet of communication, is forming a harmonious trine to Saturn today. So this to me feels like we'll be able to better receive the message that Saturn wants to teach us during his retrograde phase today. Like it'll sink into our mind a little bit more. So Saturn stations retrograde on this upcoming Saturday, June 29th. Saturn will be in his retrograde phase through November 16th. And he's starting his retrograde at 19 degrees of Pisces. He will retrograde back to 12 degrees of Pisces. With today's Mercury trine to Saturn, I trust that at the end of this session, you'll have a good idea, you'll have a good mental sense of what you are going to be responsible for within yourself over the next 5 months. So Saturn is our planet of responsibility. I see Saturn as Father Time, keeping us on track with the Chronos way of things, the timely way of doing things. Saturn does not skip a beat. Saturn does not miss meetings. Saturn never shows up late because Saturn is organized, he has his plan, and he will never ever surprise you. In my opinion, Saturn is the most predictable planet of the zodiac. Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces holds us responsible to our spiritual practice. Saturn in Pisces is helping us surrender some of our boundaries because it's time to drop more into the flow of the universe, to surrender control. Back in March, I felt a shift in Saturn, specifically through his Pisces journey. He entered the second decan of Pisces. Do you guys remember me talking about this? There's 30 degrees in a sign. The first 10 degrees is the first decan, the middle 10 degrees is the second decan, and then the last 10 degrees is the third decan. So I had this feeling that when Saturn first entered Pisces, he was there to control. He was there, he was the strict dad showing up at the dance to pick up his unruly daughter, right? Saturn, strictness, walking into Pisces, mutable water. So I felt like when Saturn first entered Pisces, he was trying to impose his control over the mutable water, mystical ways of Pisces. But once he crossed into the second decan, this was in March of this year, he crossed into the second decan, I felt him begin to soften and to begin to surrender some of his control. Almost as if he was allowing himself to drop more into the flow of Pisces. And we've been playing with that energy for about the last 4 months. So this may be a nice time to reflect. How have you surrendered more to life since March, the whole month of March? How have you let your guard down? How have you allowed the rules to bend so that you can flow more? And if you'd like to make this retrograde experience more personal to you, I'd like you to locate where Pisces falls in your natal chart. Just Pisces. I know that some of you guys are going through your Saturn return right now, but I don't want you to look for your Saturn placement necessarily right now. I want you to look for Pisces. If you're brand new to reading your astrology chart, the Pisces symbol, the glyph, it looks like 2 backwards parentheses with a horizontal line through them. We're looking for the house that holds 12 to 19 degrees of Pisces, the middle third of Pisces, the second decan of Pisces. This is the area of your life that Saturn is hoping you surrender your sense of control. Let me go deeper into what Saturn retrograde means, and then I'll give more information on the house and what it personally means. When planets station retrograde, their energies turn inward, and it's a time of reflection. There's a chance that a situation may reemerge in this area of your life that you're being given a second chance with. And the key to these retrograde phases is self-reflection, self-observation, self-awareness. Saturn is holding you accountable to turn inward, to see how much and what you're able to surrender. And surrender, in my opinion, is better phrased as surrender to. Saturn wants you to see what you are able to surrender to and how much you are able to surrender to it. The notion of surrender is not the act of throwing away. It's not taking out the trash. I surrender this. I'm done with this. Be gone. There's a reason that whatever this is, there's a reason why this is showing up for you. There's a reason that you're meant to surrender to it. Because everything in this life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. So which house holds the middle of Pisces in your natal chart? 12 to 19 degrees of Pisces. This is the house that will be under review for the next 5 months until November 16th. And if you don't have the houses of astrology memorized, don't worry. It took me a very long time to memorize all this stuff. You could do an internet search, astrology house 9 meaning, and just see what comes up. For the sake of time, I don't have the time to go through all of this today, but I have in Astrology 101. If you guys want to take the course that I have here on Insight Timer, that'll give you a really good backbone to receive these astrological teachings that I give here on a weekly basis. So the house that holds 12 to 19 degrees of Pisces, this is the house that will be under review until the middle of November. And specifically, your role in this area of your life. And I feel like it's time to surrender to what you cannot change, to give into it. On Friday, I sent out an email to my newsletter subscribers, and it was a very different type of email. This was more of a blog type than an informative email, and that was very new for me. And I received a lot of positive feedback. So thank you to everyone who let me know that you appreciated my emotional dump. But the message that I sent out on Friday was one of surrendering to the pain, instead of attempting to surrender the pain, get rid of the pain. Because the sooner you allow yourself to dive into and accept what sucks, the deeper you allow yourself to feel the painful feelings, the smoother it all flows. And the sooner you'll be able to reach what's waiting on the other side. If we continue to try to surrender the pain, no thank you, universe, I'm good, I don't need these painful feelings. If we continue to try to get rid of it, it's like you're throwing away the first few steps of your next incredible journey. Life works in waves. Things go down before they go up. And if there were no waves, you'd be flatlined. That means no heartbeat. That means no life. If you find the courage to go down when life is pulling you down, right? It's okay to admit, like, this sucks. I hate this part of my life. I am not okay with this situation. This brings me pain. If you find the courage to go down when life is pulling you down, you will always be rewarded with an upswing. So what is it that Saturn wants us to surrender to? White flag. I surrender. Take me on this journey. Flow me to the next thing that's for me. So that's the exact question that we're going to ask our oracle cards today. I have two different decks to ask two different questions. The first question that we're going to ask is, what are we being asked to surrender to? Let's see what you guys are talking about. Sophia says, I always have my notes from Astrology 101 on hand during these sessions. Absolutely. It's a nice little reference page, right? April, love this. Surrendering to trust. I trust the process of life. Sherry, yours is split into two houses, so you get to experience two areas of life that are going through a reflective process of what you are being asked to surrender to. Hannah, 11th house, can I ask how this affects the Saturn return? So you're having your Saturn return in your 11th house. How do you personally contribute to your society? What do you take out of your society? What do you feel that you are responsible to give to your society? Those are the rhetorical questions that you're asking yourself right now. Michelle says, that's deep. I think I need to do this. I think I definitely need to do that. Is that what you're doing, Michelle? She said, your email made me emotional. I love it and I felt it. Good, thank you. Nancy's working with houses 8 and 9. Diane, Pisces is directly on my midheaven 10th house. Someone write that. Great focus. Christine, so true. All of it, Jackie. It's about working through the pain and moving to the other side. It's also important to learn to be content in the storm. Ups and downs, ebbs and flows. Good morning, Debbie. We are just getting to the cards. Our first question, we're going to use the Ask Your Guides deck. And we're asking, what are we being asked to surrender to while Saturn is retrograde, end of June through mid-November? So feel free to send your energy into this deck. If you're new here, just know that we always do group readings. So feel free to ask whoever you are working with, your highest self, your highest guides. What are we being asked to surrender to within ourselves? I'm going to ask Saturn directly. What do you want us to surrender to? Instant. So I'm going to let 3 cards fall out of this deck for us. And the whole reading is for everybody. So just have that in your back pocket. However, I like to play the game of intuition. So I'll show you guys the backs of the 3 cards. And if any of the cards feel different, feel more, something changes when I hold up a certain card, then that could be the strongest message for you today. If nothing changes, the whole reading just holds equal importance. So they came out very fast. What are we being asked to surrender to while Saturn is retrograde from June 29th through November 16th, 2024? I'll show you the backs of the 3 cards. Let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know which cards are calling to you. Can you guys hear the music that I have playing today? I have it very, very quiet, and I don't know if my mic is picking it up. Yes, you can. Cool. I'm gonna see how it goes. Sherry barely. It's very, very quiet. I'm gonna see how it goes. I normally play music on my laptop behind me because it helps me concentrate. And I stopped bringing my music close to the mic because I'm now monetized on YouTube. And if they hear the music from the other YouTube channel, the monetization gets all messed up. I don't know if that's being greedy or not, so I'm just going to try it today, see how it goes. All right, so what are we being asked to surrender to? Did I show them the second time already? I can't remember. No, I didn't. Okay, I'll show them one more time, just in case. What are we being asked to surrender to? Once more, just in case, here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. All right, let's see which cards you guys are working with today. What are we being asked to surrender to? Jacqui, 3 and 1. Bonnie, 1. Jess, 2. Denise, 1. Nicole, all 3. Acne, 2. Michelle, 1. Nancy, 1. Michelle, my belle, all 3, baby. Patty, 2. Anique feels like they're all equal this morning. Sophia, all 3, but 2 stronger. April, 2, but something scared me, but my spirit said be brave. Cool. Karen, 3. Mary Alice, 1 and 2. Tracy, 3 and 2. Kaz, 1 is the loudest. Deanna, 2. Christine, all 3. Jess, 2 and 3. Nicole, 2. Kiana, no one ever has to apologize for being late. You came exactly when you were called to be here. Chantel, 2. April, 1 and 3. Sherry, 1. Blue Topaz, 2. Kiana, 1 and 3? Or is that 1 through 3? Maisha's working with 2. If you guys ever come after I start the session, I don't want to say that you're late, but if you ever come and you miss some of the stuff that I talk about, just know that I always record these sessions and I put them on my YouTube channel, so you can watch the replays on YouTube whenever. Kiana's working with all 3. Got it. Beautiful, Kiana. Yeah, definitely consider subscribing to my YouTube because I post other stuff there too. It's not just the replays. So it's fun to see. What are we being asked to surrender to? Today, card number 1 is card number 13. The message is solitude, and it comes from our higher self. I love that image. What are we being asked to surrender to? The key words for this card are observation, contemplation, renewal, and listening. Your desire to seek solitude is appropriate at this time. You are being counseled by your higher self to retreat and to renew your soul through quiet contemplation. Your nervous system has been overstimulated, and you can't absorb any more input from the outer world. Step away and give yourself the necessary peace and time alone you require to revitalize your system. In doing so, you'll begin to sense, feel, and even hear the voice of your higher self, but only when you step into more natural surroundings. Reconnect with nature in whatever way is practical, given your circumstances. Fully open your heart to your higher self, even if you fear that you can't make contact. You are making contact. Furthermore, your higher self asks you to take your time when contemplating your circumstances and considering your options. Resist the temptation to yield to any sense of urgency. There is no emergency. Your true dedication will make itself known if you're patient. Your true direction will make itself known if you're patient. Your higher self also alerts you to the fact that not all necessary pieces of information to make the best decisions may be apparent yet. Your higher self wisely counsels that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to do nothing. The message: be quiet and wait. So what are we being asked to surrender to? Solitude. Stop, I'm getting this message right now. Stop doing the things that you don't like doing just because you want to spend time with a person, right? Like I'm feeling that there's like part of something that you want to engage with, so you engage in the full thing, but it's not the full thing that you're enjoying. Is that making sense? And right now, Saturn wants you to just be by yourself. Just go on a sabbatical, go on a self-vacation, go on a retreat. Even just take some time out of your busy life. Like maybe you don't need to call your friend who you think is expecting that you'll call them. Just be by yourself. Tune into your heart. Tune into yourself. Are you avoiding hearing what your inner self wants to say? Because I know I've been there. I didn't want to hear what was on the inside because I thought it would be way too painful. Because I didn't want to confront, I didn't want to deal with what was actually hurting. So I would avoid, distract. Go with these people, watch this TV show, do this. Just be with yourself. Oh, thank you, Sophia. Sophia's loving reminder to the invitation to donate at least $1 per session as a community to support our dear Jacqui. Love you, Sophia. Thank you. Hello, Sumastar. Christine says, beautiful card. Michelle, so appropriate. Sophia, I've been receiving this message strongly lately to give room and time for the inner processes to take place. Yes, likewise. Likewise. Michelle, one brought up fear. Wow, I have felt this recommended work is on point, and I've been drawn this way. Same. Yes. Do you guys remember I was last week? I opened myself and became vulnerable with you guys, and I haven't set anything up yet, but I do want to ask for y'all's support so that I can take a sabbatical in November, right before Saturn's retrograde ends. So I'll get something set up. I do want to ask for your help so that I can go away from my life, because there's a lot of stimulus in my life and I want to go away to be in solitude, to hear what my higher self has to say so that I can raise my own shit so that I can give it to y'all. So that's way on point. That's way on point with my life. And I find that lots of times I just talk about my life and it resonates with you guys. So I think that's amazing. I think that's beautiful. Sophia, hilarious, just how accurate this is right now. Ani, that makes total sense about not engaging in the whole thing with a friend. Yeah. They're like, if you're not fully happy with what you're doing with your time, don't do it. Don't do it. Be by yourself and let your higher self tell you what it actually wants. Aw, thank you so much, April. I appreciate your donation. Nicole says, I've been extremely busy lately and definitely overstimulated. This card is on point. Same. Very busy, very overstimulated. I'm past due on my Cancer course. I just want to tell you guys that. My Embody Astrology Cancer season, it's not done yet. Cancer season started a week ago. I'm not done with it, and I don't want to rush it. So I was feeling overstimulated. I'm taking a breather. It'll get done when it gets done, because I want to give you guys a high quality course, not a rushed course to meet a deadline. Tamara, good morning. Right now you're grieving your dog of 16 years. That's a life well lived for a pup, let me tell you. And I know that there's something better on the other side of this grief. That's exactly the message that we just talked about. That's the message that we just talked about with Saturn's retrograde. So right now we're asking what we're being asked to surrender to. So perhaps by going into solitude, by being with your higher self, your wiener dog can connect with you again without the static noise of the external world. What else are we being asked to surrender to? Card number 2 brings us card number 49. This is compromise, and this comes from our master teacher. The key words for this card are concession, fairness, democracy, neutrality. What are we being asked to surrender to? Your master teacher is reminding you that nothing is entirely good or bad, even people, and that every person has their own version of reality, which may not necessarily agree with yours. Instead of arguing with or feeling wronged by those who refuse to submit to your point of view, give up your righteous and rigid demands and broaden your perspective to include the interests of those you struggle with now. Mentally move towards center and open your mind to look at the situation from their point of view. Although it's easy to feel indignant and defensive as you deal with this current impasse, the truth is that no one's trying to harm you. Instead, your detractors are simply supporting their own interests and priorities, which are different from yours. I have to read that sentence again to understand it. What's a detractor? No one's trying to harm you. Instead, your detractors are simply supporting their own interests and priorities, which are different from yours. Rather than reacting emotionally to their resistance, strive to understand them. Be mindful not to be overly self-centered, however justified it may feel. Strive to be fair instead. Your master teacher's message: accept that your interests are no more or less important than those of people around you. So the only way to progress to higher ground is to compromise. Anik, thank you. A detractor is one who takes away from you or your focus. So your detractors are simply supporting their own interests and priorities, which are different from yours. I don't know why that sentence isn't clicking with me, but what are we being asked to surrender to is that other people have different points of view than you, and it's not a personal attack on you. It's just how it is. It's the complexity of this universe, right? If everything was the same, if everyone had the same thoughts, opinions, and worldviews as you, we would never progress. We would never go anywhere. So, how do I want to say this? So be mindful not to be overly self-centered. This is the weird dichotomy that I keep dancing between. How much do you accept that people are the way they are, but you also get your needs met? So, like, during Saturn retrograde, reflect inward, because Saturn retrograde is looking at your own boundaries. It's looking at your own limitations. So if someone has an opinion that's different than yours, even if it's something that's very near and dear to your heart, it's something very tender within you, and someone else has an opinion differently than yours, is it in your best interest to take their opinion as a personal attack? Is it? Or would it be lighter and more open and more expansive to say, they have their belief because of their life experience. I have my belief because of my life experience. I am here to support people who have experiences like me. They are here to support people who have experiences like them. And that's beautiful. Does that make sense? Nicole said she's called out. Good. 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 Tough love, right? Tough love is how you grow. That's how I prefer to grow. Bonnie, is that Pi? P-I? Am I reading that wrong? Anique feels this card too. Sophia's feeling a bit busted. Good. That's Saturn for you. Saturn's like, sorry, it's time. Love you, but it's time. Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate your donation. April, ooh, ouch, card 2, but so important, especially this life, business, and art journey. I'm breathing. Michelle, yes. Sophia, this makes more sense than I want it to. Perfect. Thank you, Saturn. Anique, that's always a struggle for me too, Jacqui. How much do we accept someone's way when we are not being heard, accepted, etc.? Christine, of course it makes sense. I don't know if that's gonna, okay, what are we being asked to surrender to? First was the solitude, then is the compromise. So I guess this is saying also, like, surrender to the fact that you're not always gonna get your way. Wow, Jacqui does not like to hear that. Jacqui always gets what she wants. And I'm seeing this more as like, if you always get what you want, you're keeping your experiences limited. Whereas if you allow the people around you to expand your worldview and expand your options by just going with the flow sometimes, you're opening the experiences that are available to you. Does that make sense? Cherish. This hits as I just got canceled. By a guy I was interested in because I didn't approach a situation the way he wanted. Definitely a growth moment. And that's the hardest part. Like, now you get to decide what you do with that energy. Is it time to say, like, all right, cool, I get where you're at, I'm gonna go over here, we're done? Or is it a time for forgiveness to say, wow, I can understand why you might have been threatened by me being myself, and I'm just going to be compassionate for you right now and be patient. It's the dance of life, guys, right? Karen had a conversation yesterday with a friend, and I was trying to explain this. Glad I can share the words from this card with her. Cool. Cool. Yeah, agree. The more we can agree to disagree, that's what the world needs, right? Just agreeing to disagree, because it's unrealistic that everyone is going to have the same opinion about world peace and politics and all these intricate societal worldviews. Like, it's beautiful that everyone has their own way of life. It doesn't have to threaten your way of life until you allow it to. Sophia, at least it sounds like a very peaceful period. Only confrontation of our inner growth, for real. Michelle, feeling that solitude and listening to myself gives me the space to compromise with others. Yes, thank you for saying that out loud. Because the more secure you are with your true beliefs, not just the ones that you pretend to because they make you feel like you're part of a group that you want to be a part of, when you sit with yourself and you are fully secure in your beliefs below all the personality, then it honestly doesn't matter what anyone else is doing because you don't feel threatened, because you can feel how deep that love sits within you. Melissa, just actually going through that dance of life and feel my relationship with him is over because he's overly sensitive, jealous, and resentful of my independent life, but I earned it. Nice, Melissa. Jacqui jumped in late but heard all of the second card. Wow, this resonates from a situation I had over the weekend. Of course it does. Of course it does. So card number 3, what else are we being asked to surrender to while Saturn is retrograde, June 29th through November 16th? Card number 3 is card number 37, creativity from your creativity guides. The key words from this card are patience, practice, re-evaluation, assessment. Your creativity guides are advising you that there is no way to avoid risk if you wish to live a creative life. Stop worrying about making right and wrong choices and view all of them as creative opportunities. Be glad you have the freedom to make choices at all, and realize that no matter what you choose, you'll create something. If you don't like the result, then simply go back to the drawing board and make new and hopefully better choices. Your creativity guides remind you not to look at life in terms of black and white, me against you, all or nothing. You're a creative spirit regardless of what else is going on in your life. Assess your creations with appreciation and respect. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, they all reflect your creativity. Celebrate everything you enjoy and don't fret over the rest. See your less desirable creations as interesting rough drafts and follow your creativity guide's advice. Go back to the drawing board. So what are we being asked to surrender to? The creative flow. Stop worrying about making the right choices all of the time and just flow with what you naturally know you want to do. And if it turns out in a way that you were not hoping for, then use those feelings to flow into the next thing that you want to do. And if that doesn't turn out the way you want it to, use those feelings to flow into the next thing. Just keep creating. Keep creating. I have found that life is more robust and beautiful when you create with your heart and your emotions and the way that you are feeling instead of creating with your mind. I know these are steps 1 through 10, and even though something changed at step 2, I have to go with the structure. I have to follow my plan. No. What are you feeling? What are you feeling? Go with it. Surrender to the creative process. Surrender to the creative chaos. In whichever area of your chart, the house that holds 12 to 19 degrees of Pisces. That's where Saturn will be retrograde. Awesome, Charlotte. Came in at the right time. Card 3 is for you. Nicole's been in a rut lately with your photography. I needed to hear this. Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going. Stop thinking about that's something that I watched with my friend this weekend. She and I vend together. I read astrology. She sells her art. And when she goes into these events focused on selling, she doesn't sell. And this past weekend, she went in with the intention of I'm just going to talk to some cool people and I'm going to get some really good insights. And I watched her sell so much because she wasn't focused on the end result, she's like, I've made all of this stuff. I just want to connect with my people. And then naturally, because she was so authentic in her own energy, other people who are authentic in their energy picked up on it, and it was a very lucrative weekend for her. So that was nice. Kiana, if you don't have any planets in Pisces, that just means that your spirit chose to focus more on other areas of your life. However, Saturn retrograde in Pisces is still happening somewhere within your chart. So that's what we're focusing on. Today we're focusing on what we do have. I don't want to focus on what we don't have. Cherish, that's awesome. It's all about energy. Yes, yes. Detach from the outcome. So over the next 5 months, while Saturn is retrograde, we're being asked to surrender to the solitude. So allow yourself to go into yourself and listen to what your higher self has to say. We're being asked to surrender to compromise, knowing that there are people on this planet whose opinions might be vastly different than yours, and that doesn't have to be a threat to your well-being. And we're being asked to surrender to creativity. Allow your emotions to lead you to what your next step is, and don't care about where that brings you, because you're always going to be brought to the best place. You're always at the right place at the right time. So what can we expect on the upswing? We talked about how life works in waves, and when we surrender, sometimes we have to surrender down to the unwanted feelings. So if we go down there, if we allow ourselves to go down, what can we expect on the upswing? And to answer that, we're going to use the Gateway of Light activation. What can we expect on the upswing? Feel free to send your energy into this deck. One last card for all of us. If you've been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they're always appreciated. If you haven't yet followed me on Insight Timer, feel free to click the follow button so that you can see when I post my upcoming classes. If you came in a little bit late today, I do record all these sessions and I put them on my YouTube channel. So you can follow me on YouTube so that you can re-watch to your heart's content. If you are more of a reader, if you don't want to watch the whole video again, Bonnie, our friend Bonnie, takes the card descriptions and she puts them into our spiritual community for us. So if you want to join our spiritual community, it's the group that I have on Insight Timer. So you can either search on Insight Timer, our spiritual community, or you can click on my face on the bottom right hand corner, and that will take you to my teacher profile page. The teacher profile page is where you can get there. On the profile page, that's where you can also find my link tree. So if you'd like to send a donation off of Insight Timer, I have links for my PayPal and my Venmo there as well. My Amazon wish list is there if you'd rather donate a gift. And then I also, just today, right before our session, I have officially created the page for you guys to gain your ticket to my birthday party. So my business is having its 3rd birthday, and I'm receiving messages to celebrate myself and to celebrate you all, and just to celebrate, reflect and celebrate. So on Monday, July 29th, I believe at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys an extra 15 minutes than we meet on here. But I am going to have a Zoom meeting birthday party. So what it's going to look like is we will come on, we'll have an ecstatic dance, just one song, ecstatic dance, just to celebrate and, get happy. Then I'll share what I've learned from being in business for 3 years. And then I want to open it up for you all to share how much you have grown from following my teachings. And this is for a multiple this is for multiple reasons. One, I really want to know how much I'm affecting the world, because to be honest, it's a little lonely here on this side of the computer, because I know that you all are having your own lives and you're having all this growth and you're having all these insights and all these beautiful changes. And in order for me to like feel worthy, that doesn't sound right. I just need to hear it sometimes that like I'm making an impact on y'all. So I would love to hear how I have helped you, and I'd love to celebrate how much you have grown as well. And I know that by meeting on a Zoom call with all of us together, we're going to see so many strings that connect all of us. We're going to see so many similarities. And then at the end, so far I have 3 songs for our ecstatic dance out, but I might make like a full-on ecstatic dance session for the end. So to participate in that, I do want to make it like an exclusive group, because I want this to mean something for all of us. So there's a recommended $10 donation to receive the ticket for this. So there is a page in my link tree. It says something about like celebrate with Jacqui, party with Jacqui, July 29th. Click on there. Any donation over $10, I will send you guys the Zoom link to meet with us on Monday, July 29th. So let me know if you have questions about that. Christine and Tracy, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your donation. Michelle, celebrations are in order. Dance session is an amazing idea. Yeah, there's something about dance that I'm meant to bring more into my teachings. So that's pretty cool. April says, following your teachings, and also the beauty is the growth we gather from others you bring into the circle. Yes, yes, I know that you all have created friendships outside of this. You've connected outside of this. It's just an energy dance. We all resonate on the same wavelength. That's why we're all here together. Sherry, to feel appreciated, it's important. Jacqui, I think I need to get on an email list to get the invite. Is it too late to get the email notification that way? If you want to come to that party, my Insight Timer teacher profile, click the link. It's the only link that's there. It's my link tree. And there's going to be a button right at the top that says Party with Jacqui. Beautiful. All right, so what can we expect on the upswing? We're doing all this surrender with Saturn's retrograde. What can we expect on the upswing? This is from the Gateway of Light activation deck. And the card that came out is the Hathor Light Codes. Light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. Hathor, also known as Het-Heru, which means House of Horus, is an Egyptian cow and solar goddess associated with the sky and fertility. Worship of this enigmatic figure goes all the way back to the 3rd millennium BCE. Hathor is easily recognized in Egyptian art, for she often wears a sun disk on her head that is held in place by 2 horns, relating to the cow, sacred symbol of motherhood. She is the divine consort of the hawk-headed deity Horus, allowing her to bridge this world and the cosmic realms, and bring in the infinite light of the sun. In this gateway, Hathor is the figurehead of an intergalactic race of beings called the Hathors. There's a good chance that the ancient Egyptians were in touch with this divine race, as evidenced by the many Hathor pillars at the Temple of Dendera. The Hathors appear as elongated pillars of infinite light, illustrating their capacity to bridge heaven and earth. Their divine mission is to activate light upon the earth. Interlinked with both the energy of the central sun and Venus, they bestow solar light beings and ignite the energy of unconditional love within. When you receive this light card, know they are ushering in great blessings. This is a light immersion. You are experiencing a full system upgrade. The infinite solar light of the Hathors is surrounding you now. This is a time of expansion and excitement. You are filled with unlimited potential. The gifts that were once in darkness are now being brought into the light. The parts of yourself that were once hidden are now being seen. Life is being restored. If you have been experiencing sluggishness or tiredness, this is now being washed away. Something ancient has awakened within you, and you are remembering why you are here. Welcome home to your light. So I just want to be clear. We asked, what can we expect on the upswing? So that you have to go down. You have to look at your sadness. You have to look at your pain. You have to be in solitude. You have to know that you're not going to agree with everybody on this earth, and that's okay. And you have to allow yourself to flow with the creative flow of life in order to go down, grab your light, and bring it to the upswing. Does that make sense? Because it's in you. And a lot of the time, your light is hiding behind your pain. So go get it. These cards come with a way to connect, so I'm going to read that part if it resonates with you. Visualize a pillar of light descending from the heart of the midnight sky and bathing your body in infinite light. Chant or call Hathor, Hathor, Hathor to draw the Hathorian energy toward you. If there's an aspect of your life that needs light, think of it now. So if you want to use Hathor or the Hathor beings to keep you safe while you journey into the pain points of your life, do so. Do any of you guys have a connection with Hathor at all? I just feel like this is helping you feel into how much you are the light pillar that connects the heaven with the earth, which I love. That's how I start all of my grounding meditations, is creating this above and below and just feeling into like, ooh, I'm the conduit. Jacqui, Saturn stations retrograde at 19 degrees of Pisces, and he will be retrograde through 12 degrees of Pisces. Anik says yes to do this work or any healing or work of service without feedback can feel lonely and cause us to question. You guys do give me a lot of feedback, but I've just been feeling the call for a big event. Good morning, Carrie. Michelle My Bell says, boom, soul loves it. Carrie feels that. Sherry, early on in my meditation days, I was given this affirmation. I am a pure and open pillar of light connected to both earth and sky. From the great central sun to the core of Gaia, I am a pure and open pillar of light. I need to say it every day. This card reminded me. Yeah, that comes up over and over and over from many different teachings, from many different sectors of spirituality, this whole idea of being a pillar of light. So, you know, the human body could have been shaped in any way, and we are vertical beings, right? A pillar of light. April, I have pulled Hathor from the Divine Masters Oracle. He's in there, or she's in there. That's pretty cool. Jacqui, thank you. April card resonates as well due to all the solar flares lately. Yes, that actually, it slipped. I said Hathor he because I'm thinking of the sun, the central sun. So in a lot of teachings, the sun is the masculine divine and the moon is the feminine divine, but Hathor is referred to as she. So I just think it's interesting how she wears this sun crown. So this could also be the merging of the divine masculine and divine feminine within you. This can be the balance of divine masculine, divine feminine within you, because perhaps you may have been a little bit weighted on one side and not very balanced. We're meant to be in balance with our masculine and feminine. April, love that. And also our sweet mascot balanced tripod. 3 being important. She wiggled the whole time you were reading. Yeah, Darla. Darla is a tripod. She's missing her back right leg. It's not there. What are we being asked to surrender to, and what can we expect on the upswing? Go within. Forget what anyone else says. and use your emotions to create. Those are the key things for Saturn retrograde. When I come back on Monday, we're going to have a doozy of a session because I'll be here next Monday, July 1st, and then I won't be back until Wednesday the 10th. And there's quite a bit going on in between those 2 days. I'm traveling to Denver next week, so I'm not going to be working while I'm in Denver. I'm celebrating with my cousin. He's getting married. But on July 1st, Monday, July 1st, we're going to talk about Neptune stationing retrograde. That's a big one. We're going to talk about Mercury entering Leo. And we're also going to talk about the new moon. That's not until July 5th, but we got to talk about it before it happens. So if any of you guys donated today, either on Insight Timer or off of Insight Timer, anytime I receive a donation from you guys, I take a dive into one of the oracle books that we used during this session, and I pull out a couple sentences for you. So just know that that's what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to give you unsolicited advice. I'm just saying what the book wants you to hear. Sherry feels the connection. I'll have to check out Hathor. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Anik. Nice to see you. She says we'll donate off of IT. I appreciate you guys so much. I will be back on Monday. So enjoy your Saturn retrograde. I invite you to just watch yourself, observe yourself, your reaction to things, your desires. Just observe for a while, for a few months. Thank you so much, Michelle. Sending love to all. Namaste. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on Monday. I hope that video was just as insightful for you as it was for all of us. Darla and I really appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for liking this video, sharing it with a friend who you think would benefit, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, drop a comment and let us know what you got from this video. What was your biggest insight or takeaway? If you want to see what else I'm working on, click on my link tree. It's right underneath this YouTube video. We'll see you next time. Take care.